Hey everybody, it's Melissa. I wanted to share with you what fragrance I wore on my trip to Portugal and also the top 3 most popular fragrances that I was smelling on a daily basis there. All right, you can put your guesses in the comment section if you want to pause the video, but I'll just show you right now that the scent that I brought and wore was a Louis Vuitton scent and it's called L'Immensité. So this one, I'm actually kind of sad because look how much juice is left, all right? There's barely any juice left here, and I really enjoyed wearing this fragrance. Now, I was debating on bringing salt and pepper with me, and maybe even Elysium, but I didn't have the refillable sample vials, so I already was kind of just looking around to see what I had samples of already, just to make it easier. And I did wear this fragrance before my trip, and I did enjoy it. And it's interesting because L'Immensité and Lafayette Street by Bond 9 were both fragrances that the first time I tried them, I liked them. I think with L'Immensité, I liked it even more. And then I kind of just felt about it. And then my love has made quite the resurgence for the fragrance in the same way that it has with Lafayette Street. But just such an easy to wear fragrance. Like I told y'all before, I've really been into the work hard, play hard scents, the things that smell really good if you were to wear them in an office environment or any sort of professional setting, but you could also wear them on a date or maybe a hangout with somebody, a lunch, whatever the occasion is, and you're gonna smell fantastic. So I like the versatility of this fragrance. And I remember doing about, I think it was 7 sprays off this little sample file here when I did my day trip to Sintra, and it lasted the whole entire time. So we were there over basically the whole entire day. Almost, I think on the train ride back, it was 10 hours later, and I could still smell this wafting off of me. Now, I'm not saying that it's a beast of a fragrance. It's definitely much more moderate in projection, but it was noticeable when it needed to be. It would just kind of come in and out, just wafting in my scent bubble. And like I always tell y'all, going nose blind to fragrances is very normal. So don't be shocked if you wear a scent and then all of a sudden after 30 minutes or an hour, you can't even smell it on yourself. And then later on in the day, you're like, oh, there it is. I've made so many videos as to why that is. So don't think that the expensive fragrance that you bought all of a sudden fell off your clothes or your skin within 20 to 30 minutes, okay? But this, so good. It's just a nice masculine fragrance, truly. I kind of been liking it more than Afternoon Swim. I haven't really been wearing Afternoon Swim because of this one, but I only have a little bit of juice left, so I'm using it sparingly. All right, so on to the top 3 fragrances that I smelled on other people on that trip. The first one is Baccarat Rouge 540. This is a fake bottle of the fragrance. One of my followers got it for me, and then my other followers in my YouTube comments were saying, hey, that's fake, but I'm using it just for the purposes of holding a bottle. All right. And by the way, if you do want Baccarat Rouge, I would say get the X-Straight. I do find the X-Straight to be better. I think it smells sexier. I just love the DNA of it. And I will have a discount link in the comment section for the fragrances in case you guys want to check them out or see what my top picks are. But I say top, yeah, top picks are when it comes to fragrances that I recommend, and also some fragrances that I really need to try as well. So that is going to be pinned in the comment section below. But Baccarat Rouge has a lot of clones that have been made after it, I should say, because I'm pretty sure that not every single time I smelled this DNA, it was this exact fragrance. I'm pretty sure there was some Cloud by Ariana Grande mixed in there as well, but the sweet cotton candy-ish fragrances were pretty popular amongst a couple women that had scent trails. But this isn't something that every group of women that I passed by, I was constantly smelling. This was the least most popular fragrance out of the 3 that I'm gonna mention that I was smelling. I smelled this about 2 times. And I know that that doesn't sound like a lot, but in the span of 8 days, when you're smelling, not a lot of people wear fragrances in general. So when they do, when you smell something and it's a repeat, that definitely does stick in your mind. But yeah, it's just a good night out fragrance, really. I still stand by what I say, that Baccarat Rouge is a beautiful fragrance. It's a trendsetter. And there's a reason why so many brands want to replicate its success. It's because people just go nuts over this fragrance. So even though it's popular, I'm not going to just be here and say like, oh, it's so overrated, it's not even worth it. If you do want to get clones, totally go get a clone if you feel like that's better for your budget and if that's what you're more interested in. But again, I would say if you're torn between the EDP or the Extrait de Parfum, get the Extrait. Absolutely get the Extrait. So the next fragrance, this is kind of a tie, but Sauvage Elixir by Dior. So the top two that I smelled the most were Sauvage EDT and the Sauvage Elixir. And y'all, I was so close to actually bringing this fragrance with me as far as bottles go, because I'm like, all right, you know what? It's not a 3.3 ounce. It's only what, 2? I'm not sure exactly what it is, but you know, the bottle seems durable enough for flights. Like it should be fine. I was really debating it. Oh, it still smells so good. Thankfully, I didn't, because I would have smelled like almost every single dude that I passed by, especially when the sun is going down, y'all, and people are going to bars and they're just trying to grab some drinks. The amount of, I have never smelled Sauvage this much ever since I started my fragrance career, I should say, right? Never, ever, ever have I smelled Sauvage in a time span like I did on my trip to Portugal, all right? Specifically when I was in Lisbon. Holy shit, like even when you go to LA or when I would go to New York City and there was thousands of people that you're passing by, I did not smell Sauvage nearly as much in the United States as I did in Europe. Oh my God, well, I say Europe, but it's just been Portugal, or Lisbon specifically. But the Elixir was popping. Yes, it smelled good. And I was like, okay, yeah, I smell it. That's Elixir. But after like the 5th or 6th time in one night, I'm like, geez, is there another masculine fragrance that people know about here? Like it was the main one that was pushing out, of course. And even when we were going to these bars turned nightclub places, I swear to you, and like so many guys were just wearing Sauvage. I could like, and I still like the DNA of this. I'm not going to tell y'all not to get it, because if you're just going on smell alone, it's good. But it was, what is it that you guys say that I don't agree with all the time? But somebody says what? NPC fragrance? Is that what the kids are saying nowadays? But I understand that, because I was kind of blown back. I know that Sauvage is the most popular fragrance on the planet. You take feminine scents, you take masculine scents. This one, for some reason, a lot of guys they all go to this one. Whereas with the ladies, yes, Black Opium is popular. Yes, Baccarat Rouge is popular, but you're not smelling it as often as like Sauvage on guys, basically. So it did get irritating. That was night 1. I probably smelled Sauvage Elixir, no joke, over 10 times in one night. And I was just like, dang, it did just get redundant after a while. So for all of you that want this fragrance, first of all, what matters is that you enjoy it, right? No matter how popular a fragrance gets, if you know that you can wear it, whether it's trending or it's not trending, that should be the main takeaway of whether or not you get it. And on top of that, the performance for Elixir is really good. Sexy fragrance. I don't find it to be a teenager fragrance, by the way. I get a lot of 19-year-olds, sometimes 17-year-olds asking me, oh, can I wear Elixir? Because they hear me rave about it. And the thing is, if you're that age, I would say if you want Sauvage, just go for the EDP. I think that it's a rounder fragrance. It's more smooth than the EDT, but it's more versatile than the Elixir. So if you really have to pick a Sauvage, I would suggest that one to you. But the Elixir is more of a grown fragrance, in my opinion. Definitely a 25-year-olds or 25 years and up type of scent. So again, that was just night 1. But every night we went out, I smelled Sauvage Elixir. And of course, I smelled the OG Sauvage EDT. And this is the thing that I've mentioned in a lot of my videos, where it's not that Sauvage smells bad, but a lot of people don't know how to apply a fragrance. So I'll always get questions on YouTube Live of, Hey, Melissa, is it true that Dior Sauvage is overrated? Does it smell bad, or is it just popular? And the reason why a lot of people think it smells bad is because so many people out here are just like trying to overload themselves because they are so thirsty for compliments, and they're so thirsty for attention from other people to talk about or ask about what fragrance that they're wearing, that they go in overtime because they're like, oh yeah, I think girls are going to like the way that I smell, so I really want to spray a lot. When in fact, it ends up nauseating everybody around you, and it gives them headaches, and it gives people migraines, because Sauvage, the EDT, is a pretty sharp fragrance, but it stands on its own. You don't need a lot of sprays. You don't even need, you could do 5 sprays of that scent and you will have a good scent bubble. People will still smell you when you're passing by, and you don't need that fragrance that's going to be just super loud the entire night like that, especially since there's already a lot of negative association with Sauvage as being a fragrance for people that are socially unaware of, like, they just douse themselves and they basically shower in the fragrance. So that is what I still stand by what I've told y'all, which is these fragrances will smell good if you know how to apply them and you know the kind of situations and events that you're going to. Like if you're going for a night out and you do a couple sprays of Sauvage Elixir, yeah, man, you're gonna smell really good. But if you're going out and there's some people that you could tell it smells like they're desperate for compliments, but instead of, and then they'll message me and say, I did a lot of sprays of this and nobody complimented my fragrance, your video's a lie. But it's like, I promise you, people could smell you, but why would they go up to you? They're irritated with the way you smell, because it seems like you have no social awareness and that etiquette of, okay, we're all in a small bar right now and we all smell one person and it's just giving everybody a headache, so they want to just leave to go smoke a cigarette because you're pissing them off. You know what I'm saying? So desperation never like garners compliments or positive attention for the most part. So again, don't take this video as me shitting on these fragrances, because I will still recommend them. Like I said, all throughout this video, it's just a matter of how you wear them, how you present yourself. And again, if you do want to wear something different, you can do that. Even though people are telling you, oh, you might hear online that YSL, YEDP is so basic, so overrated. I didn't smell that fragrance once on my trip. And I have yet to smell that fragrance on somebody that I have passed by just on a day-to-day sort of basis. So just be cautious when you hear the things, when you hear words like basic, overrated, when it comes to the online space with fragrances, because for the most part, they really are not true. When it comes to Sauvage, I do feel like it is an overworn fragrance in comparison to other things. But am I going to call it overrated? No, because there's a reason why it's popular, because it performs, and it's mass appealing at the same time. The last thing I'm going to say, because I got this question on my YouTube and my TikTok lives, is they're like, oh, does Dior Sauvage smell like a toxic player fragrance? And no, I really don't see it as that. I think a lot of people kind of want, for some reason, that kind of reputation seems to be like people find it edgy, so they want to have that. They want to have that smell. I don't think Sauvage fits that mold, just because I have smelled this fragrance, not the elixir, but just the Sauvage scent in general, on a variety of people. I've smelled it passing by with like a middle school student passing by. I've smelled it on a grandfather, an uncle, of somebody my age, somebody younger. So I don't see it as, oh yeah, it's this toxic fragrance. It smells like a casting. It doesn't. It smells like anybody that went to Sephora and asked, okay, what's a sexy masculine fragrance? And the employee said, hey, this one right here, the most popular fragrance of all time, Dior Sauvage. So no, I don't think it fits that mold. But it's a good blind buy fragrance if you are just trying to start your collection. If you don't want to smell like, if you don't potentially want to smell like anybody else, then I would suggest something other than that. But I did have a fun time on the trip. And for the most part, the last thing I'll say, I know I said that last time, but definitely more people smelled bad than they smelled good. All right, I can understand the use of why more people were using fragrance than typically I smell around me here in Southern California. I smell fragrances, but not at the rate that I did there. And I think it's for a good reason. I think it's for a pretty good reason. You know, I found myself holding my breath a lot of the times, especially when it started raining, bro. I was like, oh my God, like, you know what I'm saying? You guys know what I'm saying. But I had a fun time. That was a dope trip. I loved the people that I was around, the people that I met that night or those nights. Everybody was fun. Everybody was down for a good time. And the drinks were cheap, which is amazing, you know? So that's all I have to say. Let me know your opinion on the fragrances that I mentioned, if you think it adds up, or if these are very popular in the area you live in as well. All right, I hope y'all have a great day. Again, the discount links for my favorite fragrances are going to be pinned in the comment section below. So if you want to support the channel, I appreciate it. All right, have a good one. See you later. Bye.